All right, welcome to the PANDA board meeting for September 14, 2016. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the August board meeting, which Bill has generously.
Bill has written them. I hope you all read them, and if so, please feel free to approve them.
So moved. Second.
Yes, I second.
Military.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The treasurer's report.
Well, the treasurer just moved this weekend, so there's no report.
You want me to write that?
So I just got my computer up this morning, and so we have July 31st instead of August 31st, which is what I presented last month at our short meeting at the end of August.
Mini meeting?
Yeah, mini meeting.
We have one more billing going out, you said, or that?
No, everything's gone. Just that one to the village of Red Hook. So we're just waiting for that check to come in.
Okay, you're waiting for which check?
The town of Red, or the
Town of
town of
Red
Red Hook,
Hook.
Waiting for Town of Red Hook.
the supplemental
Right,
check.
right.
What's the supplemental check? Oh, the,
Additional
I know
funds.
what you mean now. Yeah, I know what you mean now. Sure.
And I talked with Bill Dowden because I had a couple of invoices for insurance that I didn't understand. And so he explained that one is for $15 and change that's to be paid, and the other one he said I can ignore. But we've got a couple more bills in the mail here. So we still have a little bit of insurance to pay. That's normal.
Well, let's skip an item on the agenda and we'll come back to that. The progress on the shared services grant, any news from Poughkeepsie?
Well, a few weeks ago, I was asked by Christy Bonamo on behalf of the committee that reviews the request, if it was possible to reduce the amount, which we'd asked for $141,000, to reduce that and to some degree, while still being able to keep PANDA current, viable, up to date, and also to be able to function on a high level, all digital, HD and everything basis. So we had some conversations about that. Basically, she said all I needed to do was give her a little summary without a lot of details. And so the decision was to cut down some things, particularly in the advisors and service consultants area, and brought it down from 141 to 110. So that's about $36,000 cheaper.
131 or 141?
141 to 110. There was a decision that I wanted to make about the TriCaster, and because the agency partner grant, which is also listed here, after talking to Christy, she thought it wise to probably keep the agency partner grant on its own without equipment, without the TriCaster, because there's no knowing that we would get the agency partner grant. There's no knowing we'll get this other one, but I guess our chances are better. That's where it stood. She has that, and I think later this month, I'm not sure when, but I think actually in September at some point, we'll find out.
Okay.
And maybe October, but I think it's going to be later September that we're going to find out what their decision was. And there are a number of things in there that apply to other things we're talking about, so the sooner the better on that. We might find out.
The Time Warner kind of bill writes to these people every week.
And they still do.
And they still do.
Yeah,
And
they
they
still
duck.
do. But it's hard to duck when you're contacted every single week. It's something I never did before, where I do it every week without fail. So I think the badgering is going to pay off eventually. Well, that's what David, the prior representative, told me to do. Before he said the greasy wool gets the grease. His words,
Yeah,
his words,
the grease
his
is
words,
right.
his words. What did I say? The greasy
wheel
gets,
gets,
well, the greasy wheel gets the
You're
squeak,
saying-
is that what I said?
yeah, something like that.
Maybe that's what he said, and it's been my whole approach has been wrong. Anyway, no, so, I keep putting on the pressure every week.
Well, there's always.
And
a
what I
way
do is, I do it, I always CC the supervisor of the representative I'm dealing with, which really annoys, I'm sure, the supervisor. But I do
No, that's good.
I do that intentionally,
That's good.
yeah. I always do a two-pronged
Mhm. No.
bother.
Okay. The next item is the summer retreat with the munis.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You know, we were trying to find, the first idea was to have some kind of independent location offsite. And we weren't getting very far with that. We never really got very far with the Warringcliff Hotel. Then Robin over at the Tivoli suggested that I try Murray's. And I've written to the guy at Murray's upstairs because it's supposed to be really nice, but no answer. No answer on the email. So she did offer, they have offered at Tivoli, their upstairs. It is Tivoli, but there's a really nice space up there.
The village,
Yeah.
you mean?
Yeah, the village. They said, sure, we could have it here. I mean, it's one of the municipalities. But I think we shouldn't wait much longer. I think because we really gotta get this ball rolling. And it's enough to coordinate everybody and make sure that, we can schedule it and get everybody there at the right time. And we absolutely have to do it in terms of the new agreement. And anything else that there may be any brainstorming about the future of PANDA, or anything, it'd be a good time to certainly apprise them of, the best update we have on the survey. So I think that, and maybe to be able to show them some things and tell them some things we've been doing, give some demonstrations. But I think ideally that should be in October, I don't like waiting much longer than that because what's really important is municipal agreement.
Well, by then, I hope to have the survey tabulated, to be able to give them some input, some information.
And that's the time of our annual meeting anyway, October.
October when? Is it a date?
Normal meeting time in October
Yeah,
is usually
okay.
our annual meeting.
It makes sense. We could do it here
Yeah.
if it comes to that, but, that was a nice offer by Tivoli. So maybe we should just go ahead with that and then everybody
Sounds nice.
contact your municipal representative saying we're looking for dates that one or two of you can appear, not more than two.
Well, at the annual meeting too, it's broadcast live.
We could do that. But the first idea of this was not to do that. In other words,
Yeah.
have follow-up a public meeting,
Yes,
where everybody participates. But let's first see, let's, talk shop with the municipal leaders, and if there's any laundry to be aired or ideas, to do that. I don't know.
Do you think you're
Broadcasting.
gonna wanna come out twice in October, once for the retreat and then once again for the annual meeting?
I think
No, it should be the
No.
same thing.
It should be the same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
we could have what we're calling the retreat, will just be a meeting, but it could be before the annual meeting, so that we can report at the annual meeting the results of that meeting.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the same day,
Same
is that
day.
what you're saying?
It could be the same day, it could be,
Yeah, because it's gonna be tough to get them to come out twice.
well, they don't normally come to the annual meeting.
right.
Well, that's true.
Spencer's been pretty good, look.
Once.
Elizabeth
Do you think what
was
the-
about the only person I remember.
How do we
Ryan
do,
Crane used to come all the time.
And Sue Crane came.
Sue Crane always
Jim
comes.
Reardon used to come.
Yeah.
how do we do
I'm sure he's.
dates and times? How are we going to,
So it's the
Suggest
second
that.
Wednesday of the month. We always broadcast live at 7 p.m. So usually we invite everybody to come at 6 and we do food and drinks, which I'll take care of. And
But that's
I'll
our
probably
meeting.
just do.
That's already.
So we would probably want to have them come at say 5
so,
and then hang out and eat after the meeting, and then we can at 7 go live and broadcast
Okay.
the results.
But
Two birds with one stone would be great.
right, it would be, but I think we have to be prepared to, feel some
Well.
different dates. Because if some people can't make it, I mean, we need at least one rep from each municipality.
The second Wednesday of the month, there are no other board meetings that day, so usually
Well, that's
there are
good.
no other conflicts,
Well, unless they have personal conflicts.
unless they have personal conflicts.
It's my
So
birthday.
that's why we're saying.
Is it?
Yes, October 12th, my birthday.
12th of
October.
October.
Is
Used
that
to be
a Wednesday?
Columbus. Yes, this year, I just looked at it, it says David's birthday, Panda board meeting.
Well, that's good, you know.
We'll have cake.
Yeah, right.
We'll get a
We'll
birthday
celebrate
cake.
your birthday, we'll get you a cake. It's just where you wanted to be.
So,
He wanted an audience for his birthday.
Yeah, he said he got it.
so,
So you want us to ask our,
so we need to be a little flexible about.
I think we
Right,
need a backup.
I'm trying to think of what would make a good backup, because there's a lot of
so which
meetings.
date's October 17th,
12th.
Sorry.
12th?
October.
October 19th.
Last year, we did push it off later in the month because I hadn't made the preparations for food or anything as of yet, so I wanted to have a little bit more time. The 12th is the first option. Another option might be
The 19th?
no, not the 19th, because the Village of Tivoli meets that night.
Oh,
The 20th, Thursday, the 20th.
Okay.
And the following week,
We have.
the 25th, the Tuesday, could be another option.
Not the 25th.
But there's literally meetings on the 10th, the 12th, the 19th, the 24th, and the 26th that would be conflicts in different municipalities. So the 3 dates,
26th?
no, those are when they have
Say
their
all the
meetings.
dates that there are no conflicts.
No conflicts would be the 12th, the 20th, and the 25th.
Okay, then I think
What
that,
day of the week is the 25th?
It's a Tuesday.
okay. So what I would suggest is that each of us go to our own municipal, leaders and let them know that we'd like to do it on the 12th, but if you can't do it on the 12th, then the backup options would be the 20th or 25th, and that,
What time?
I'm thinking 5.
5. We'll do the meeting with everybody at 5. Then we can have snacks and stuff while I set up for the live broadcast, 6 to 7. And then we go live at 7 o'clock for our annual meeting.
And if it's in
And
Tivoli,
so,
they just
so
walk
there's
over
2
there.
reps from every municipality.
That's correct.
Yes,
It
2.
can be anybody on that. league.
Anybody, but I think Tivoli would probably be Joel and Emily Major. Red Hook would probably be Brent and Mayor Lundell.
Right.
And it
I
would be at
think Howie
Tivoli,
and Heath for David would be.
Tivoli Hall, whatever that's called.
Yeah, the
That's
village
the
hall
deputy.
upstairs.
That's the deputy mayor.
I see.
The mayor and the deputy mayor. So Howie and Heath prefer although Gina is the PANDA liaison now.
Who?
Gina Fox
Who? From
for
Brentwood?
Village of
Yeah.
Rhinebeck. And then for you, maybe Elizabeth and Joe Gelb. He's come to the meeting before.
Not,
Yeah, Joe Gilbert. Oh, no.
I thought Elaine Fernandez was the.
Orlane, yeah, Orlane.
Orlane.
I don't know why, yeah. But I know Joe has come before. I don't think Elaine's come to one before. And
she
then
wants to eat.
Robert and maybe Sarah or, oh no,
Yeah,
Harry.
Harry is.
He probably
would
loves
do
to come.
But Bill is the attorney. Bill has been involved with the negotiating.
Well, anybody can come to the live broadcast at 7. But in order to have the meeting, they can only have 2 municipal reps present. Otherwise, it becomes,
But that's a
Right.
good
There's a
point
rule
she's
there.
making.
so for the meeting, you'd probably just ask Robert who you'd want to invite. I gave them their deputy mayors. That's why I was giving everybody names. But I don't know who the deputy mayor is in the
I
village.
think that's a
in the
good
town of Rhinebeck.
point, though. Having at least one, if not 2 attorneys. You know, the
Bill has been
woman
involved
from
in it
Tivoli's
from the
attorney,
Yeah.
is somebody I would like to have considered, I've told Tivoli that. And, maybe Bill, and he has a background and experience on this, because that's gonna be part of the conversation, So maybe it would be smart to suggest Robert and Bill in that case. Yeah.
And then anybody who wants to come to the meeting is more than welcome to the live broadcast.
So 5 o'clock on the 12th, 20th, or 25th.
Sorry to get.
Now, 5 o'clock is, what are you calling the 5 o'clock?
The
What are you calling that?
municipal offsite.
Or retreat.
Retreat, municipal retreat.
And what do you expect to gain from the municipal retreat? What are we gonna talk about?
We're gonna talk about PANDA.
But in what respect?
What's happened over the past year, where it's going, and how we move towards a new agreement.
Okay.
Yeah, and what they expect.
We need to meet,
What
yeah.
they expect, what we expect, you know, what's
how can
what's
they help
real
us
and
find
what's
more
not
money?
real. Whatever, you know, I mean, it should be just an open meeting, you
But
know?
shouldn't we meet before that
Yeah.
meeting?
Yes.
Because I've usually done it, so we should
Yes.
have a meeting, I believe.
Yes.
So we
Do
meet
that.
at 4, meet with everybody at 5, eat at 6.
Or, well,
Bring us-
Or-
we pretty much know what we.
Maybe a few days ahead, so you have.
Yeah, I don't know if we
prepare.
have to actually meet in person, but we should all
Conference
communicate
call.
with each other so that
We
we
understand
know
each other.
Yeah.
that these are the bullet
You know,
points.
Yes,
email
right.
is not an option for me. I check my emails once a day and that's it.
Oh,
That's it. So I would prefer on something this important that
we'll
we
text
do
you to
it
check an email.
to have a conference call.
Yeah, we could do it.
We have a conference number, we
Yeah.
can do it for free, and it would be a way that we could,
Okay.
We'll do several a week.
Is this, is the retreat where we give them the results of the survey? Is that when we do that?
Well, yeah, it'd be a good time
It's at that one,
to
right?
give what results we have.
Right.
Okay.
They may not be final, but yeah, it'd be a good time to do that.
So survey results, their expectations, we bring them up to date, everything that we've been doing in terms of, I'm assuming you're talking about the grants,
Yes, some
and the things that we've
projects.
been doing to.
Yeah, and specifically what happened with, you know, what the issues that came up and then where we're going, yeah. Or any other ideas you guys have? I mean, yeah, we should get an agenda together.
Right, that's what I'm running these things
That
down
could
now,
be
so we don't
emailed, the
forget 'em.
agenda. You could bounce around emails to do an agenda.
Is that the place to talk about, about the work we've been doing with the anchorages?
Yeah.
Or not?
I think so. Yeah,
It is, right? Okay.
yeah. I mean, if anybody out there thinks that, we brought this up, oh gee, is PANDA relevant?
all of it,
Anchorages,
all, you know,
aerodromes.
that
There's
were
lots
in
of
their
stuff.
new
The,
space, that
art-
were done the
The
surveys.
art
that,
tour
you
was,
know,
that's had a lot of hits.
I'm sorry?
all of the new
The new space.
The new space,
We'll talk about that.
That's right, good.
the flyers that we've received, you know, everything I think we need to express what we've been doing.
Right. We should-
Okay,
Create
this
a
will also
good
help me
agenda
light a
list.
fire
Yeah,
under Spectrum, Charter Spectrum.
Right.
If I tell them that all the meetings are gonna get together next month, and we're gonna be discussing all of this kind of stuff,
Mhm.
including them, and they're all asking what's up with that
Well,
contract.
You know,
That tends to make them nervous, when all the munis get together.
well,
I don't mind, suggesting at that point, saying, I mean, are we gonna continue to wait? Well, or are we going to go get talk about a lawsuit?
And it's good that the lawyers will be there, because I'll also include in my
Right.
next communication with them, that lawyers will be there, just to let them think about that. That lawyers will be present, that all the mayors will be present,
Yeah.
or what they're
Right,
called.
no, you're right, it should
And that'll make
definitely
them
be on the
think
agenda.
twice, yeah, okay, good.
Our other public access stations have the same problems.
Yes. Well, not necessarily with anybody. I don't want to take up all the time here, although there's a story to do. There's a real good story. Just briefly, essentially, with the exception of some states like Massachusetts, Vermont, almost all the other states have been bought off by the cable suppliers. The states, the governments, the governors, the legislature, they've been bought off. And that's what, that means that they've been paid the money from the suppliers to then turn their other cheek, not to look at worrying about having the municipalities fund.
But we're federally mandated to have.
I understand, but
access.
but they're putting, it's not a profit-making enterprise for them, and they want them all gone.
They want them gone, they don't, but in Massachusetts, it's a law. In Massachusetts, there's actually a law that says, no, all the money has to be spent on the stations. The municipalities can't spend the money on their own. at their own
Yeah,
discretion?
they get 100% of the franchise. fees.
100%.
Wow.
But somebody in my position
Right.
in Massachusetts makes between $68,000 and $80,000
There
a
you go.
year.
Right. So,
A living.
A living.
an actual
Yeah.
living, yeah. So there is a big discrepancy, and it's, you know, I mean, the way I see it is basically, the attitude is just let it rot. Let public access rot. And nobody makes an issue out of
Right.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
nobody, you know, it
ROT.
hasn't become a political issue, which it could be,
Yeah.
There's not enough
but no
people
one's done
behind
it.
it.
Yeah,
That's the
it
problem.
hasn't been
There's a woman
organized.
out of Putnam, I've told you about her before,
Yes,
Mary
yeah,
Arian,
that's who to follow
who
up
is
with.
the public access, she's in my
Right.
position down in Putnam County.
Right.
And she is working on legislation and trying to get this brought up to the legislators to pass some laws and to get better funding. for public
And the
access,
expert on this,
which would be the next documentary project.
well, that's actually just Charlie Page.
Yes.
Okay, Charlie Page is the guy that made a good deal with us for the Hypercaster. And managed, one of the reasons I was able to bring the grant money down was I was able to bring Charlie Page down, you know, for the Hypercaster. But his whole life has been spent dealing with public access, you know, and he's in Massachusetts, and he's extremely knowledgeable about these things. So he would like to come, hopefully we get the money for the Hypercaster, he'd be the guy doing all that, but he's offered to come and speak with us anyway. So that's another thing, maybe in October we get Charlie.
Not on top of all that other stuff.
No, but I mean, but
I
maybe we
wanted
get
to talk about that in my station
Right.
manager report, so.
Okay,
We should go back to that, if you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready, yeah. So first things first, since July 14th of this month, we've gotten 55 new programs. But that doesn't include like duplicates and stuff like that because like Carl consistently changes his PSAs and stuff like that, and I don't log every single one of them because they're only 2-minute PSAs. But it also doesn't include the barge programs that the original deadline was September 7th, and then they changed it to December 6th, so we had to fix all the endings on them and put them back in the system. So we probably got about 65 programs altogether between July 14th and now. Racing Through History is completed. We are promoting it. We have a 1-minute PSA running on air probably at least every 2 hours, promoting that it's going to be airing on the 24th at 8 o'clock.
yeah, and it's a good trailer, it's good.
And the Labor Day art thing was the first time we've done a newsworthy event where Bob, a volunteer cameraman, went around with Frank, one of the artists, to at least half a dozen of the artist studios who were going to be on the tour. And a week before the tour happened, a preview of the tour was running on Panda. And it's got hundreds of views on the YouTube part of it. And it's the first time we've ever been like, you know, like a movie review, like a preview of something that hasn't happened yet.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it was great. It was great. Frank was great, and it was great that Bob.
That took between 8 and 10 hours of editing.
I know that, and that's one of our big
It
issues.
took a lot of time. I was working like Fridays from like 5 to like 10 o'clock trying to get that done.
Well, yeah, that's the big issue, editing.
The big issue with all this stuff is editing.
So I got a lot of stuff here I want to get through. The Frost Grant money is almost completely spent. I have given you the receipts, I just want to go over them with you. Because when you get a chance to do the treasury, I'd like to see how much is left, because there's a couple other things that I didn't get, but I didn't want to overspend. Price exchange and stuff like that, since the quotes that we got. I think I said this already, but I'll repeat it again. Kathy O'Connor had taken a new short video about how to submit your comments to the Coast Guard about the oil tankers that I cranked out of that machine over there and tagged it on at the end of all the programs that we had running, so we have the updated information on there, and the deadline has been extended to December 6th. I did email a trustee from the Village of Red Hook about getting a table at Hard Scrabble Day, because I wasn't sure if we were still going to do that or not. And then I realized that I have a wedding Saturday and Sunday in the Adirondacks, so I'm not even going to be here. I'm gonna try to see if Jim can, get some footage so we can put together a project, but, if you think that it's not necessary to have a table there to do the surveys, I'm just not gonna bother with the table.
Well, we have to do
They have
something
it.
with Red Hook, we have to do something.
I believe it's this Saturday, the 17th.
Ed Blundell sent an email today asking about
Yeah.
what's going on with the survey.
Yeah,
So we need to answer.
and I responded him, I'm just waiting for Jim to finish it up, and I said I'd send it to him tomorrow.
Okay.
Because we did make it a fillable PDF that you can just pop on the internet and people can just,
Okay.
I can do part of the day, just not all of the day.
it's 10 to 10 though.
I can do it at 10. It's till 10 at night.
Well, let me ask,
Because they have
can I
bands.
ask a
Till
legitimate?
10 at night?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of live music.
We know that the water bills got returns, right? You know, surveys were put in water bills, got some back from Tivoli, right? We certainly got Rhinebeck, we got, couldn't do it from Red Hook, right? But, so you know that. Was there much return from these tables, whatever tables were put out?
The
Did you?
first one, we got rained out.
Then
The
what
second
else?
one I got 7 or 8 maybe.
So,
It's very hard
And
to,
that was begging,
so maybe
clients
the
come over,
fillable
get over here.
PDF will do that job. It'll cover
So-
Red Hook.
I
So-
think we should have a table anyway.
Yeah, we need a
just for
table
that
anyway, and I
presence.
think that's a
Yeah.
given, I
Okay,
know that.
all right.
So
But do
if
we
you
still
did,
have, do we
so-
still have panda hats, ball caps?
maybe like 3 left, I've been giving them out left and right.
Um,
Okay.
I should call Glenn.
Because that's a good place to have them to like hand to somebody if they do a survey
You
or.
had made name tags one time for us that looked like trespasses.
Yeah. I gotta
Yeah,
I
it's
gotta
a-
do
it's
that.
a-
I'm not gonna be able to do that before this Saturday.
it's a chance to
It's a
win the
Photoshop
iPad,
project,
and I
a couple
thought that would
hours.
be, you know, an incentive to
And
get.
pictures of everybody. So we'll hash out hard Scrabble in a minute then. We talked about that already. I do not have an intern for the first time ever, so please be easy on me. I have gotten a few volunteers, but they're shooting, and nobody's editing yet. So I'm patiently waiting for our backup hard drives to get installed so we have a little bit more room for all the stuff that we're bringing in. I spoke with Michelle Barone over at the Rhinebeck Bank. She's their marketing director. She's been submitting a new show called Wake Up with Rhinebeck Bank. And it's a morning talk show format. It's really cute. HBNN produces it and they send it over to us via Dropbox, so I can just.
It's not a commercial,
Hudson Valley-
No, they have
Hudson
local
Valley.
people talk show coming in.
but they don't have signage saying,
Hudson
That's
Valley
my news
News
network.
produces?
Yeah, yeah.
And they give it to us.
but it's not promoting Rhinebeck Bank.
No, they'll bring in like Rick Zolzer from
Okay.
the Renegades, talk about the Renegades season.
But it's
or-
brought to you by Rhinebeck.
Yes,
So it's,
it's a 14-minute program.
I don't know.
That'll be
we
no
can't
big
make
deal.
it that commercial anyway.
No.
It's not.
No, I just don't know that that's kosher because
Well,
it's,
actually,
it's,
we're
you know,
not paying for it.
We're not paying.
We're not
for
getting
it.
paid for it.
They're filling out the paperwork.
Yeah.
Right.
that's
I mean,
kind
all
of
of
the
my
point, we should
cooking
get paid
shows-
for it, we're not
Well, I
allowed
know,
to,
but-
but you know what I mean, that they're getting,
But they're a commercial network that has donated, right? There's-
HBNN's got, they produce it, but there's no advertising for them on it, and Rhinebeck Bank, the only thing that
No,
it
but
says is theirs is their little.
But they're
logo.
not a public access network,
No,
correct?
they're not a public access.
They're a
network.
commercial network.
yeah.
Yeah. So they do it, they get paid, whatever. They're just giving it to us.
Correct. But there's no advertising or
Interesting
anything
question.
like that on
It's
it,
gray
it's,
area.
except for the little Rhinebeck Bank
Pretty
logo.
Great.
because there's no call to action, so it's not a commercial on that.
No, it's like a
But
question
there's
and
sign-
answer with local people.
but there's
Well, that's
signage.
part- See, that's part of the agenda.
It's actually a really good program, and I don't think we
I'm sure it is, my complaint is the signage.
take
Yeah.
that, we'll take a
But
look
Bill,
at
that's
it.
part of the agenda. That should be in the discussion of the meetings.
What's that, the,
Just what we're talking about.
What,
Oh, well,
how we're allowed to advertise, or,
well, we're not, but there are some things we could do.
well, let me.
Eddie, what's it called, Hudson Valley News Network?
It's called Waking Up with, the show is called Waking Up with Rhinebeck Bank.
Well, if it's called Waking Up with Rhinebeck Bank, it's right
Did you
there.
listen to me?
If that's what it's called,
It doesn't matter,
it
they're not,
doesn't matter
they're not-
to you. I'm just saying.
they're not saying, come here, do
I
banking
know
here.
that, but it's a slick way of getting 14 minutes. I've been working in TV for 40 years. And I remember when I started working in San Francisco in Spanish television, that the US Army was paying for commercials on English language TV all over San Francisco Bay. They wouldn't buy any spots on Spanish TV. What they would do is send us programs just like this in Spanish and then say, look what we're doing for the community. And then they come on and do public service.
Well, maybe you should watch a
No, I'm just
14-minute
saying, I'm
episode
just
Like
saying.
before you
product
judge it.
placement.
I'm just saying that I
It's a
know,
very well-produced
I have a very
program.
cynical,
People want to see
I'm
better
not
things on
saying it's
Panda.
not well produced, I'm not saying anything like that.
This
All I'm
might-
saying
this might
is
be a
when I
conversation
keep-
we want to have off
Let me-
camera,
Okay,
I'm thinking.
I'm just saying that,
It's
that,
well already
it-
watched.
this, I'm just saying, if I can finish,
So Bill, I think this has been.
nobody lets me finish.
I think, but we get the point. We understand that, this seems like a slick way to get your name out.
Well, if it's called Waking Up with Rhinebeck Bank, what more, I don't care how well it's produced.
Yeah.
It's called Waking Up with Rhinebeck Bank.
Yeah, we hear all that, but they're not calling to action, they're not.
No, I
gonna
know
say-
that.
So,
It's just exactly what the U.S. Army used to do to us in Spanish language television. They would not buy the
Those make
spots.
a perfectly good
They
point.
would, let me
I
finish,
understand.
please, let me finish.
Can we please have this conversation?
No, I want to
off
finish the
camera in
conversation.
executive session?
No, because I think it's valid, it's out there. What are you gonna do, edit out what we've said up to this point?
No, I wouldn't, I would just.
Right, so let me finish. Another one. Go ahead.
No, we ran the Mad Dash last Monday, and the T-shirts say Rhinebeck Bank. They make donations to a not-for-profit. So the question that we really want to ask is, how can we make money? What is legally permitted
So,
that we can do to
That
it?
is different. That's an event where people are wearing that apparel because they want to. They don't have to, and it's okay, because that's a charity, and that's an event.
It's a .org.
This is something else. This is a program that's called that.
We've got to consult a lawyer.
No, I would
Find
run
what's
it. I'm not
permitted.
saying don't run it. I'm just saying be aware of how this works. And the way it worked, the reason I get my hackles up is because 40 years ago, the way it worked in San Francisco was they would not buy spots in Spanish language television because they knew they could get it for free by doing this public service kind of stuff. But on KGO and all the other English language stations, they were buying spots. So that the U.S. Army got away with years. No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that.
I'm saying that's a good thing.
I would continue running it. I'm just raising the issue.
Okay.
I'm just putting it out there. There's nothing you can do because you're not allowed to. The FCC will not allow public access stations. I remember I talked to David about this, like Wayland, and we're not allowed to get money for this.
We're not getting
Remember,
money.
we tried to explore this whole.
We're not
This
getting
whole
money.
no, we're not. Of course not. No, but we were exploring. Can we do like what public
I
television,
believe Rhinebeck
what
Bank
PBS
pays
does,
Yeah.
where
show.
Brought to you by
But that's where we would get money, or
Underwritten,
TBS would get money.
underwritten, right? But we're not allowed to
So
be
the distinction here,
under.
the only distinction, Bill, is that we're not getting any money.
Right, and we're not allowed to.
Yeah, so
this is
we
not
make
the
it covered.
first time that we've received
Yeah.
this type of thing and ran it. I know, certainly when I was station manager, under a different board, this discussion went on, and it was deemed to run the stuff. So I don't know that.
I'm not saying
it's
don't
any
run it,
different
I'm
than
just
anything
pointing
we've ever
out,
done.
I'm just pointing out.
No, it's a good discussion, it's a healthy discussion.
I'm looking at the opposite of how could we generate revenue legally?
Oh, no, I wish we
You know,
could,
that-
but
If I started a show, baking pies with David, and apples and peaches and flour were donated by Adams, am I allowed to say, we want to thank Adams for donating this food?
I always did when I had my cooking show.
Yes, you can thank Alex.
that's
for
promotional
donating.
consideration, I think that's okay.
I want to understand all the possibilities.
Well, we should have that as a meeting, I mean,
Yeah.
because we could spend a whole meeting
Yes,
talking
let's
about it.
I didn't
move on
mean
to
to
other
Okay,
so
subjects.
Back
I
to
just-
Rhinebeck Bank. So while I was on the phone with her, she also told me that Rhinebeck Bank does donate money to nonprofits, and she thinks that we should
Mhm.
apply. They donate up to
Oh.
$10,000 a year.
Really?
So I'm going to explore that and fill out the information that she wants us to do, and not ask for the full amount and see what we can get. But she said we could apply for it yearly, and we can do whatever we want with
Now,
the money.
what I think we are able to do is, we've made grants for equipment and things, but if we ask for a grant for a certain kind of program, I think we should be able to get that if it's a grant.
Let's
It's
talk
not-
about
Not a
yeah,
promotion,
grant for a
not a
program.
promotion.
But we
right?
need to find a grant that's specified to do that. When I started this job and I had a lot of free time, I would spend one day a week down at the Adrian's library looking at their grants, just going through grant after grant after grant after grant to see if there was anything that would fit public access to help us create programming
Mhm.
ourselves, and it was never that specified, and it was very hard, so. But the Adrian's library, if you go down there, there was a woman, Peggy, who just retired. She sent me the name of the person who's taking over for her. But they have the entire access to the database for all grants nationwide, worldwide, which is a fee, a yearly fee, but if you do it at the library, they don't charge you. They give you a user ID and a name, and you can go
This is
there and
Adrian.
research all the grants that are available. I just don't have the time to do that anymore.
Right. Okay, well,
So
there
the
are some
last
other
thing
ways.
is, for, as far as sales are concerned, we have always been able to sell space on our website, we've just never explored that. And I had a salesperson ask me about that recently, if that was something that we would be interested in doing, and I said, well, there's no money to pay a salesperson. And his response to me was, well, show me what I need to sell and I'll sell it for you and I'll work off of commissions to begin with.
You have to, to get the advertisement that you get on YouTube, for instance, is you have thousands of hits before they're gonna start putting up.
Not for the
ads to pay you
website though. The website is, you determine where you want to put your side ads, your banner ads, any boxes. You look at your website, you figure out where you can put
Yeah,
space.
you can do
You
that.
talk to your web guy, he can give you a mock-up on, where you can put it so you can approve
Right.
it, and he adds the space for it, and then you
Right.
just need to figure out how much you're gonna charge for what space, come up with package deals, because some people might want a banner, some people might also want a sidebar on another page, or a little ad on the bottom. And then you can just basically look at comparable places, newspapers, websites, radio station websites, and see how much they're charging for their ads on their websites, and come up with some numbers that are, similar to that.
We have two,
You can't
we have the
similar.
can,
Because we don't get that many hits like a radio station does.
Right, but I mean, like
We
not
get-
similar, but
we get
close,
hits at
People are-
pandatv23.org, and pandatv23 YouTube is another website that gets hits. And that's the one we said we got 40,000 hits.
Right,
So
but we
combined.
we don't, that's combined. If we were getting 40,000 hits
On it,
per
They'd be
video,
calling us.
they'd be calling us
To
to be giving us,
But,
they would just be sending us a check in the mail.
The biggest thing is Alutra Pani gets a couple of hundred hits each month. And that the art studio tour got a couple of hundred hits. But most of the municipal group.
No, the historical society videos get at least 100 of.
My first video 3 years ago has 500 hits on it. How to research history of your house. That's obviously a popular topic. But some of the other ones, don't get as many. But you got to get into the thousands before they're going to start calling
Tens
you.
of thousands, yeah.
Tens of thousands.
Are we tracking the hits? I mean, like in this last month, we've had a lot of stuff.
YouTube has its own analytic thing that I just click on every once in a while to
So-
look at to see what
And when you
we're
look
think
on
we can
YouTube, you
make-
see the hits.
Can we take, you see on YouTube. So if I go to something that we posted on Panda, I can see the hits there?
Yes.
You go to the YouTube
How many
page,
views?
and
How
see,
many
it'll
views?
tell you right at the bottom of the
How many
video how many
views?
views.
Well, maybe we should start compiling.
I give a report every annual meeting about our yearly
So you'll be
statistics.
ready with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
What is my last thing here? I skipped some stuff here. Do you know when the next frost cycle is?
In the spring.
I came up with a very interesting situation that has never happened before. I had like 4 or 5 volunteers in here in one day, all needing computers. And I realized that I could use another computer station, definitely, and I would like to ask for the Adobe software that I've been using if we're going to continue to do the schedule.
Well, why don't you write up a bid and send it to me? They said
Okay.
they have some money left for a small allocation in November. Their big grant will be next spring.
Okay.
If we have something that's urgently needed, I spoke to one of the board members, submit it. But they still prefer you to supply equipment or supplies to accomplish projects, not pay for people, because then it becomes they're trying to support the ongoing operations of an entity, and they don't want to do that. They want to be helping you to move forward, but not,
Well, this would be like a new computer plus backup drives for it,
Write it up and
And
send
then
it
the
to me.
software, which is $600 a year.
Write up a quote and send it
Okay.
to me.
Could I ask for, say, because the software is a subscription, so could I ask for like 2 years worth of software and then put down $1,200, or can I only ask for 1 year?
You could ask for 2 years.
Okay.
Maybe a 2-year subscription is fine.
I mean, eventually we'll have to take over the payment for it, but I figure if we could at least get a year or two paid for, that'll,
To what? What's a subscription to?
to get Adobe Creative Cloud, it's $50 a month.
Do you have Vimeo? Or something like it?
Well, me personally,
No, here, at the
I
studio.
don't use Vimeo now.
What do you do if you wanted to send out a cut of something to somebody?
Dropbox.
Just Dropbox.
Mhm.
All right.
Sometimes Google Drive.
I use Google Drive a
If
lot.
it's like gym or something, I'll just,
I just wanted to, I realized I wanted to say something about the oil barge project.
Are we done
Oh.
with?
no,
oh,
not
you're not
yet,
done?
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
sorry.
we
I
didn't,
thought
I
you
didn't
were.
give my station manager's report last month, half of this is from that.
Okay.
Um, the survey, did I say the survey, that we got the fillable survey done, and it's gonna go to Mayor Blundell tomorrow?
Okay.
And I'll talk to Robert too, and see if he'll put it on
Robert,
his
yeah.
website.
And when it goes to those two websites, do the responses come here or do they go to the?
On the form, it says to email the completed survey to info@pandatv23.org.
How do you get the fillable surveys to Blundell?
What do you mean?
You said you
You
get
email
them
Yeah,
Oh,
once
okay.
it's saved in that format, it's
to.
a
So these are the
Acrobat.
these are the PDFs?
Yes.
Fillable PDFs.
Yeah, so for
Why is it being sent to him
his website.
We're gonna put it up on our
for
website,
his website?
and
The town.
we could send it to them if we want to.
Well, no, but the reason why is because, he had said that the village specifically couldn't put the surveys into the water bills because it upped the cost of their postage. And the town said they can't put anything, it's just a policy. So neither Red Hook Town or Village were able to do what the other 3 municipalities have been able to do, which is stuff the water bills with paper surveys. So, in order to get some coverage for Red Hook, then that's the best solution, because he had suggested and said he could do it.
Oh, okay, that's some input.
And the last thing is, I do want to have Charlie Page from Telview. I would prefer for him to talk to everybody because he is very user-friendly, kind of like describes things very easily so everybody can understand
That's
them.
great.
He could tell me something and it sounds great, it sounds amazing, but it's so much information that a half an hour later I don't remember half of what he said, and I wouldn't be able to relay that back to you. He can come down and meet with us and do a presentation, or we can pull up a computer and we can do it all over the computer. We can even all do it from home. They have those gotomeetings.com if you didn't want to come down. So I just wanted to put it out there, see when we can meet with Charlie and
He's the
how.
TriCaster guy?
He's
No,
the
the
B100 guy.
Hypercast.
Mhm.
Hypercaster guy.
B100.
Yeah,
Right.
from Telview.
Tell you.
And when we can meet with him and how you want to meet with him, whether we want him to physically come down and all meet here, or if we want to have a meeting. He said he can do it during the day, at night. He says he does these things 6, 7 o'clock at night. He says you guys can wear your pajamas and your fuzzy slippers for all I care.
He's
Not
So,
like Skype, like he's looking at us while we're looking at him.
I don't know.
Yeah, go to
I don't think he'll be
meetings,
seeing
yeah.
us, yeah.
How long would it take to do this?
The meeting
Depends.
itself. I would say between half hour and an hour if we have a lot of questions.
Yeah,
I mean, it takes about 10-15 minutes for him to show you the chart and explain to you what all the different components do and how it all works together. Because it solves all sorts of problems that we've been having for years. It solves live streaming capabilities. It can get us into the 21st century to have our stuff on Apple TV and on Roku, so we're just not cable
On your cell phone.
internet.
That
Yeah.
pan on your cell phone.
Could
Yeah.
it restore audio to our calendar?
Yes,
The
he
new
said.
calendar program does
Oh,
have
God.
audio.
Yeah,
How
I
happy
think
that
it's
would
something
make me.
like Scala.
She knows how happy
Yes,
that would
right.
make
But he
Yeah,
said it's very
right.
similar to Scala.
Yes.
Oh,
And if
good.
that's music, it'll make Bill happy.
Well, I miss now.
No, yeah, a lot of people do. It
It's
used
a
to-
powerful little baby.
Yeah,
Do we still
it
have
was
that?
very popular.
Is that something we can sell?
No, the disc is not in the box. It has not been in the box since I started here.
Disappeared.
Hmm?
It disappeared way back, about a week or two after it was here.
Oh, I just have an empty box.
You don't remember that, but we'll talk about that.
Okay.
You finished your station manager.
I finished, yes.
Agency department.
Unless anybody has any
Just
questions.
before that, I just, yeah, well, one thing I just want to say about Charlie. Yeah, Charlie is fantastic at explaining the hypercaster and all the things it can do, you know, and it'll open everybody's mind. I mean, he's a mind opener, you know, so, and he's great. So, I mean, I think it might be best if he comes here, if everybody can get it. So the question is, can we all assemble to have it come? Otherwise, do it online or something. But he's also, like I started to allude to before, really, really expert on public access.
And he'll
And
tell you
so-
how we can sell and,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, because there are
Banners and
features
what you
with the
can do
B100
online, yeah.
where you can, what was it? Do you remember what he said about the
Well, the-
banners?
Well, you can do a VOD, a video on demand, on the web of anything.
Of anything.
And you can put a
sell
banner on
advertising
that.
there. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, let's say you have a program that's popular, you
Like
know,
Live at the Center.
something like that, whatever, it's, you know, and you can put it out as a VOD, that people can get it at any time, you know, and they'd be able to get on their TV, with that, you know, but it's not coming over the cable.
Isn't the question is, do we want him to come here, or do we want to do the meeting? And then we can talk about all this other stuff,
Right.
With
you
him.
know, then.
Yeah.
So I personally think it's better that he's here, because when you're at the computer, sometimes you might have something to say, but you can't really break in because somebody, you know, when it's somebody's live, you can make eye contact and they can see that you've got your hand up and you want to be next or whatever. It just, for me, it seems better to be personal. I might be old fashioned that way, I don't know. You might
Well, do you want to do this
have
before the retreat meeting, or?
Ideally,
Maybe we can make it the same day that we meet about the retreat meeting?
yes.
Is that cramming too much?
No, well, maybe, I mean, everybody's got their own.
No, I mean, I don't think
This
it's too
fall
much.
is sort of critical for us, and I think that
So should we do the
having him before
retreat?
that meeting would make sense, and do it together, yeah.
So should we meet about the retreat first and then have him come after?
Or vice versa, whatever.
Same time,
I think we should have the meeting first and then he come.
okay.
Because if he comes first, I don't know, I think we need to get this solved about that meeting.
Okay,
Yeah,
I agree
and
That makes
with
sense.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's pretty serious.
But that shouldn't take us too long, because that's kind of swirling around our heads what we need
Yeah,
to talk about.
it shouldn't be
We
that
need to
long,
nail it
right.
down,
that.
and then have him
Yeah.
Show
talk to
up.
us.
Yeah.
Okay. So I
So
will,
what day, yeah.
Figure out a date for that.
we gotta figure out a date for that, and can we do that now,
Well-
so I can email him tomorrow?
Well, doesn't that
Yes.
hinge at all on when our munis get, tell us what dates they can
I
make?
think if we just do something towards the end of this month, we would be prepared for any of those dates.
Right.
So if we did
So-
something, say like October 2nd or September 26th. Is that, am I looking at no, I'm looking at the wrong calendar. September 28th or October 5th.
What is the 28th
Oh, wait.
day of the week?
Wednesday.
No, Wednesday we're
Primary
we're-
I
election.
can't, September is not good for me at all.
No, not the
It's what's
24th,
left of
not
it.
yet.
It is, okay.
What's that?
Today's primary day.
What day did you say? I'm sorry.
I said either the 28th or the 5th, but I was just shooting out dates. I mean, if anybody has any other suggestions, since it's not an official meeting, we can do whatever we want, and we don't need to advertise it.
I'm
you
better
know.
off, well, let me see.
We probably shouldn't advertise it. It should be you guys, myself,
Right now,
and Jim
I'm
for
okay
the
with
technical
either
part.
of those days, so it doesn't matter to me.
What time?
Whatever time you
I
guys
can't
want.
do September, but you don't need me. I
Yeah, we
can
do.
phone you.
I really.
If you want me there, then it has to be the first week of October.
Okay, let's go to, first week of October?
Better to have
And
you
any day but Thursday, because Thursday.
How about Wednesday?
Wednesday the 5th,
Like she suggested.
1 week before the 12th.
I can't do it the Tuesday because I work that
So
day.
would you say October
I have a
what?
meeting
5th, the
Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, October 5, is everybody good for that?
And you know what time?
I would say,
I should shoot that out to Charlie to see what would be
Yes.
easiest for him to come down, and
Yes.
then we would plan meeting it like an hour early. But
Okay,
maybe for Marianne, because and you work too,
but not that day, but.
not that
that's
day,
okay.
okay. What would be the earliest that you could get to Panda on a Wednesday? You can come whenever, so if we have it at 3:30 and then he comes at 4:30, that's okay. He might even be more, you might wanna come at 5 or 6 too, I don't know, so let me talk to
Let's
him.
find out.
October 5th, anytime between, say, 3:30 and 6 o'clock.
So you should.
Or early.
Or earlier.
Or earlier.
Two is fine.
Two? Oh, okay, but that's fine with
If it's
you?
okay with,
Yeah,
Oh, don't you
Wednesday's
like
open
coordinate
house.
to like 1, an open house?
Well, Wednesday is open houses until 2.
Okay.
okay, so then
So
We'll
let's
say
make it
3 then.
3. So
Yeah.
3s
I'm
are,
gonna come at like 4 or 5 anyway.
so 3 p.m.s are retreat meet, and then we're at 4 o'clock, or whenever you can do it, is when
Anything that I should look
Charlie
at?
Page, it's a great man.
Right. You ready to move on?
As is.
I'm sorry, I just,
Wait, are you done?
I am.
Okay.
I just wanted to quickly say about the oil barges, is that, you know, as Danielle said, the deadline, the whole purpose of what we were trying to get on Panda early was in order to encourage people to make comments on the Federal Register before the September 6th deadline. So what we decided to do is we were putting a much larger piece together, which is moving slowly, to put some things out there like the PSAs that Elizabeth Spinzia did, and the supervisor of the town of Port Ewan, and the meeting that was held at Rhinebeck Town Hall by Joel Tyner, and some other things. Kathy O'Connor clipped off a few things like Audrey from Scenic Hudson and put that on and labeled it. And the last thing that we did was the town meeting in Rhinecliff that Joel hosted, which was a last minute decision, and I'm very, very grateful to Carl Sickerly for volunteering to come and shoot that meeting. And then I shot on my little Canon, and we did not anticipate that the Hudson River pilots would show up. The 50 minutes into that meeting, they did, and it just changed the dynamic. So that's a meeting really that becomes alive. A lot of people were there in the Morton Library. There was a lot of interest. There was some electricity in the room, and there was some real exchanges. Carl volunteered to work harder at editing, so to bring the two different cameras together, which takes time, and it's not perfect, but it's, you know, it kind of shows when you have two cameras, and if you have the TriCaster working properly, how you can really bring a meeting to life. And there's some sense of that, and the issues really come out in this meeting. So if you were going to watch one thing, I would just tell the public, check that out. Morton.
And how long is it?
It is 2 hours, although the pilots don't come into 50 minutes for the Q&A. They were sitting right behind us, we didn't even know.
The reason I ask is
Yeah.
because at our Dutchess County Association of Realtors meeting today, a committee was formulated to combat this also, and we want to get as many people involved as possible, especially realtors, when it is
Yeah.
impact our business.
That's right, that's right.
But I wondered if there was a short piece that we can put into a link that I can send to all the realtors.
Check our homepage. There's a 13-minute talk from John Bicking. Was that Andy Bicking? Who was Carl? Was it Andy Bicking from
It's Andy.
Scenic Hudson?
Andy is from Scenic Hudson.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not
It's
the
about
most exciting.
13. It's not the most exciting, but he's got good information. That's about 13 minutes long. Other than that,
He's a good presenter.
there's Audrey Fredrickson.
There's Audrey
She's
Fredrickson from
about
Scenic Hudson, there's John
24
Lipscomb
minutes
from
long.
Riverkeeper, who's 26 minutes.
Mhm. But there are the quick PSAs too with Elizabeth Spinzia and
Yes,
Diane.
those are short.
Those have
And those are
hundreds of
short,
hits.
short.
Do they
Yeah.
really?
They
Yes,
do, yeah, they have a lot of hits.
Yes.
A lot of people
But
watch
people
it.
like myself and Carl have been putting them out on our personal Facebook pages and stuff like
And I
that.
can-
So feel free to share that stuff wherever you want. If you have Facebook or LinkedIn or anything like that,
Mhm.
take the link and share
That's
it.
right.
So the link is there.
The link is already there. If you want me to show you before you go, because I want to talk about these receipts. If you want me to show you how to get it before you go, it's really easy.
And
Or anybody who wants
just
to
so
see
everybody
that.
knows, the response up and down, this, we're talking about north of the George Washington Bridge up to Albany,
Yeah.
okay? That's a pretty big area, the Hudson River. The response has been overwhelming by all communities, and it doesn't matter Republican or Democrat.
Mhm.
It's coming from all public officials, and it's coming from the real estate, I mean, because it affects everybody. And it's a big, big deal, and it's actually, linked to what's happening in North Dakota with the pipeline and the Sioux Indians, the Bakken crude. No, that's the big issue, is the Bakken crude coming down. So anyway, it's an ongoing thing. We will continue to work on this. That's the main message, is, and try to find, more pieces to put out, and we'll ultimately have a document.
Did you get the article I sent out about Dee Barrett?
Yes.
Okay. And the one from last week, there's gonna be a meeting in, it's in Portland?
Yes, oh yeah, that, I
I'm gonna
want to shoot that.
Why don't
Like
we,
us
if we
to shoot
can't
that.
shoot it, maybe, I'm gonna contact a local public access TV station. If they shoot it, maybe they can send us a copy and we'll send them what we have. It'd be a
Although, I myself would attend. That's it.
It's October, what is it?
October 19th.
19th.
Yes, if it's what they say it's gonna be, which means, because
Yeah.
what we haven't been able to get is any leaders from the shipping industry, and they say they're bringing them, or they're inviting them anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure the pilots will be there. The best thing would be to have a meeting that has everybody, and if it's that, then I think, it would certainly air it, or produce it, or, that's the next big one that I can see. Yeah, that's very important, thanks for sending that.
Okay, the agency partner grants.
Nothing's been done on that. Mary and I should probably meet about it, but at least I thought it was, the deadline was late September. It's like October 23rd or something. So there's a little more time to deal with that. But you know what it is the idea is that, Dutchess County has these different agencies that serve interests, social service interests throughout the county, and they commonly do forums, or presentations where they'll come to a municipal town hall or something like that, and they will do it, but the problem is that they continue to travel around. It costs them money and time. One really well-produced live meeting, ideally with a new TriCaster, could then be cycled around, and everybody could see it. And that would be part of the idea that it would go on all meeting and everything. So that's what we would be applying for.
They like the idea too.
Did they say that?
Yes,
Oh,
when I went
good.
to the meeting, I said, we
Okay.
we aren't an agency that has a project that would require funding, but we can help all of you with your projects.
Yes.
And that's when Christie said, that's exactly what we need.
Well, yeah, good. Well, I hope we'll see about these grants, but we'll
Sorry,
go forward with that. Yeah.
You two have to meet to do
Well, I
what,
think
where does it stand?
Mary
It's still
Ann-
not clear.
Okay.
It's a fill in the blanks.
Oh, okay.
Form that's on their website, and we just have to figure out how much money we would be asking for, what we would do, how we would be saving the county money by doing what we do.
So you two have to figure that out, and then you're gonna present it to the rest of us, is
Right.
that how it goes?
Well, and we submit it to them.
And submit it to them,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to understand. You two decide what it is that you're gonna inform us, is that correct? I'm
We'll put
confused.
something together.
Yeah.
I've already roughed out something.
Yeah.
I'll work with you. We'll get something we can show to everybody and say this is what it is. Ideally before the 12th, I
Yeah.
think,
Of October.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be submitted by a municipality, right? We can submit it?
Yes.
That's a big deal.
So the next two items are,
I get it. I was confused, but I got it, yeah.
what we have to discuss at our meeting, our pre-meeting before the municipal meetings. That's the municipal agreements and one-year interim agreements. That's what we have to actually, that's the most important agenda items for the meeting with the munis. To get the-
Well, I'm going to find the information for the pro bono partnership. Because I think somebody should really give them a call and see if they would be the ones that you want real lawyers with real
Okay,
experience working with companies and other public access stations and other television stations. They have specified lawyers for specified reasons. And I specifically spoke to somebody who had done contract agreements before down there, and it doesn't cost a thing. So I'm gonna recycle that information tomorrow. Email to board. Because I think somebody should give them a call. If I remember when I spoke to them, they wanted a copy of our original franchise agreement, of our expired intermunicipal agreement, because I think they can help us do both. Recontract with Time Warner Cable and recontract with the local municipalities. I know that some people thought about talking to a local lawyer, which is also not, still an option, but I think that this option should also be explored.
And say again what this
Can you say
option
that
is.
again?
Pro bono. I knew that was gonna happen. Pro bono partnerships. And I'll see if I
Me
can even
too.
track down the exact name of the woman that I spoke to. Because she
That's a big deal.
had
Yeah.
some
Good free
experience
lawyers.
renegotiating contracts like this.
And how do these partnerships work?
What do you mean?
Why is it called a partnership?
Well, because they have all these different lawyers that are willing to work essentially pro bono, but they come from different backgrounds, so you can find one that you need for different situations. So that's why it becomes a partnership, I think. But I think if somebody wanted to call her and ask her that she would be able to explain it
Where are
better.
they?
Westchester, if I remember
So
correctly.
that's, okay,
Yeah.
that's who we were told, around White Plains, right?
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
told about. Good, so you have that?
I have that information, I just have to dig for it.
All right, so you'll send
And
it
you're
out to
gonna
us?
send it out, is that
Yeah.
what you're gonna do?
Okay,
Mhm.
good, good work.
Right, unresolved issues with Red Hook Village.
Well, I mean, Danielle's gonna take care of this survey issue. And then, I've been back and forth with Ed and Brent to some extent about talking about what this little, I think it's
Little misquote.
misunderstanding or, the language issue was, and I haven't heard from them. I'll check in with them, I mean, if they still are concerned about it, we'll try to do something.
And Brent was here on the corner as I
Yeah,
turned
he was
around.
here like,
Yeah, I thought he was coming to our meeting.
I talked to them over there at the last time there was that thing over at the hotel. and-
right,
and,
business
I brought it
hours.
up, but anyway, we'll see. If they wanna do it, we'll do it, if they don't.
I received a phone call from one of the Red Hook Community Center board members that renovations are nearing completion, are removing to Red Hook.
How much is the rent?
I think he said 500.
Really?
a month.
This is the last time you talked to them? They said 500?
But when we were there at the tour,
Right.
the director, the
Yeah.
chairman said 500, that would include heat and electricity.
Right.
It would
So-
include people.
Yeah, I believe so, that
Well-
would save about $4,000 a year.
Yeah, it could be great. I think the only thing, my only thing is I think we need to kind of do a little due diligence with it, which is I think these guys need to, everybody needs to see it, one more time. At the same time, somebody needs to evaluate what it would take to set it up and rewire it, because basically it's two offices, two nice little offices on top of each other, looking out towards
Into the sanctuary.
the sanctuary, which is like a theater.
And that studio room is in the middle, with the broadcast equipment, I don't know how we can integrate into that, but
Well, that's what we have to figure out. So I think we need to have somebody really qualified to evaluate that and see how that can be executed, A. B, since Danielle never saw what we're talking about, I think she needs to see it. And C, ideally, it would be really nice, if the grant came through, because there's some money to do it with, if that's the case.
Have you talked with Marcus?
Marty?
Marcus.
Molinaro,
Not
Marcus.
lately, no. Why?
because he was so anxious, enthusiastic about us submitting a grant.
Oh, yeah.
He may have some clue about whether.
No, he doesn't. I mean, I did when this last thing came up. And he was just supportive, and
there's a committee and they'll be looking at it.
it's up to the committee.
And we
yeah.
should hear it some point.
Right, soon, I think.
He wanted
So
to
you-
make sure that we were submitting something.
Yes, we did.
Oh, yeah,
He
no,
knows.
we definitely did.
So you want me to contact them and arrange one more tour?
I think so, but I think we should orchestrate it with somebody that's expert enough to evaluate.
I think it should be somebody from Time Warner Cable that would be responsible for.
Well, that's another
I
point.
did talk to you, the last time I talked to you, I said I needed to call Ben Simon, who was the guy who would come here and fix things, their equipment and stuff. And he said that they contract a different company to run the wires outside if we needed to do a station reset, and it's not at any cost of us unless it gets excessive, like if we move like 5 times, you know, in 5 years. But he said those would have to be the people that I would have to speak to have them come look at the place to make sure we could even wire it for
Right.
live broadcast.
Right.
And he said he would look into getting me information so I could set that up with him. I haven't heard back from him, so I will follow up with Ben Simon
And
tomorrow.
I'll follow with them and say we're trying to get a Time Warner representative to make
And-
the final tour and have a Time Warner guy with us to look at the space.
Right, to
Stop using the
evaluate.
word Time Warner, it doesn't exist,
Whatever.
after Monday. It's going to be.
The cable guy, the
Monday.
cable guy.
The
Right.
cable
Call-
guy.
Call Jim Carrey and see if he can come and
And
take
you
a
might
walk
want
through
to
with
ask
us.
your contact too about the same thing,
Yeah, I just
about
wrote
the
it down.
contractors, okay, because
Yeah.
that
Sure,
would be a
we're
response
really
from
interested.
Ben.
We just
I
need
just
to kind
wanted
of
to-
do
Did
this
we
due
do that here,
diligence, you
Bill?
know.
I remember.
That's
Yeah,
We had time work
yeah,
before we.
yeah. And then they restrung,
So,
they put fiber optic cable all the way up Broadway, all the way up Broadway
Yeah.
to here, to right here. I
So-
filmed it.
the last item was the survey with the Tivoli stubs on to come in. We sent out about 3,000 with the water bills, and we've gotten now 107, which is a 3%, which apparently is quite good for a survey. The public does not, even if they love something, does not respond.
3% is good, is that what you said?
Yeah,
Yeah, 2 to 3%.
apparently people say, so I'm optimistic that we'll get another, by the end of the month, we'll tally them up. Some should come in from the online survey from Red Hook,
And
then-
Panda. We'll do it
and
online
Panda.
here,
and then we can tally them up. And if we're ready, we're supposed to have, we said in October, we do a drawing of all of the surveys, pull them out of a hat, and pick one for the iPad. But we might have to postpone that to November if we don't have the surveys tallied by then. If we're just starting on the Red Hook online and the Panda online, then
Right,
we'll have to give it a little more time.
Good, let's wait for a final tally, but by the 12th, we certainly have something to report to the viewers.
Right. Right, any other old business or new business?
I think we covered it,
A lot of business.
We had
We've covered a lot of business, it's been a long meeting.
Long meeting.
Almost an hour.
Yeah.
All right, so we will,
Meetings used to be 10 minutes.
we will have
Yeah.
we will have a live broadcast at the next meeting, October 12th, at 7 PM,
Hopefully, we have to double check with the munis.
to have a live
But it will be
broadcast.
open to the public.
And
If they
public
wish
can
to
come,
attend, there'll be food and
and
snacks.
you can watch us live,
What day are you advertising for that?
October 12th.
Preferably.
It's our annual meeting when we broadcast live. So we'll dress up, you know, try to look a little more spiffy.
I do need approval to, since I have no interns to run cameras for me or run switchers, I'm gonna need to pay somebody to do that for me. Steve usually does the switching, but I had always 2 interns to do the 2 cameras.
Can Bob do one?
Bob can probably do one,
Yeah,
Bob
Bob
probably
can.
would do one.
Maybe Kathy.
Maybe
Um,
Kat?
Maybe Kathy,
Yeah.
maybe Carl, maybe Jim.
Got
Let me see if I can
options.
find freebies first, and then I'll ask you guys for money if I need it.
If anyone is interested in learning video, learning editing, we need help. Just call the station and we'd love to have volunteers. And if an event is happening in your community, at your church or at your
Porch
other
Fest.
things, Porch Fest, whatever, and you want to shoot it, shoot the event, and let us know about it. We're looking for volunteers. That's what PANDA's about.
Yeah,
So-
and even something like, that you have some interests and you do some things that you really care about, for the Historical Society and stuff like that. And I got excited about the Viking ship and went over and shot that last night. And, so there are a lot of people that may want to do just that, and then you can submit them to PANDA. Get involved.
We'll see you all next month.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.